Well, look who it is. Got to get my busted windows in there. It's you again. Charlie Greer podcast again. Duh, this is what I do every day. Today, naked hillbilly cryptids. But who? That's right. Yesterday, when I was talking about me and Yacht Mines, and my sister and our friends were hunting the Bell Witch, I started thinking, like, wait a minute, who are those naked people we used to see? I thought about it all day and all night. Damn, dreamt about it. Did I? And I forgot the name. I'm sorry, I forgot what they called them. Some people just like, oh well, there it is. These hillbillies live down the Dry Creek and heads up that. But other people are like, hey, is there something ain't right with these people or these things? And I'd see them. I usually saw them with my dad. We'd be out fishing everywhere. I don't even any creek in DeKalb County, Tennessee. We were there fishing, just finding a fishing hole. I mean, that's what we did. I know we're hillbillies. That's what we do. I mean, granted, he was a dog. Anyway, let's move forward. So let's break it. I'll break it down to you. So there was two types of these naked people I would see. These naked hillbillies, cryptids. I don't know. Okay, the first were these kids. Now, they were always naked, pale. They had blonde hair. People would just leave if they saw them. We would, and they just would be, bam, they're there. Like, and also I remember they weren't too, like, we were like, hey, how you doing? Where are y'all from? They didn't even acknowledge us, but they just kept getting closer and closer, and they're always in the water, the creek. So then there were twins. We thought we'd see reoccurring. We'd see these little kids. They seemed about 5 or 6 years old, naked, looked like twins. They were boys. Blonde hair, kind of in their own world. How you doing? Wouldn't acknowledge. And my dad's like, you know what? Let's get out of here. I was like, anytime I've seen, I guess he'd been. I mean, don't they grow? We see them the next year. They just look the same. So these twins, and then one time we saw, it just went twins. I don't know how many. There was a bunch. They all looked the same. They were all these look like little kids. Now, there's got to be someone where I'm from have seen or remember, because I swear I'd forgot it until I was doing my podcast yesterday about hunting the Bell Witch, and that brought up memories of me seeing. So I'd see these kids. Never saw them alone near the creek near my grandparents' house. Never saw those people. Always saw them like it near Dry Creek, downtown, wherever we were at. And my dad would be like, let's go. We're going. We called them the twins because we'd always see like 2 of them. But other people had names for these naked hillbillies. For one, you ain't going to make it in the woods of Tennessee naked. It ain't going to get, I don't care how hillbilly you are, man. There's just, in those hollers, come on. I mean, maybe. Not me. So I'm getting offset. So the second ones were taller. Well, I shouldn't say, just bigger. Usually crunched up. You see it in a flash. The one I saw, because a lot of times you didn't see their head. I saw he was bald. Like, he's bald headed. And they're gone fast. Or sometimes kind of slow. And, we'd see them. And my dad, like, let's go. I mean, I had a feeling too. Like, now who are they? Well, there's these people that live in the woods. Naked? Yeah. I guess they're doing pretty good for themselves. So it was just a thing. But I remember, again, I was a kid. I wouldn't think it. I didn't know what an alien was or a UFO even. I didn't know. Well, that people were talking about these, some people. And they had a name. I don't know what Tennessee crawlers or something. or right before I got on, I went to YouTube and Google and tried to type in naked hillbilly cryptid. Well, nothing can, hell. But it's driving me crazy. I don't remember the name. Matter of fact, there was 2 names they called him. And that's another thing. Is more I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, they called it. That's it. What are they? Who are these mysterious naked kids running Dry Creek? They were there. I used to see them. One time I was swimming. We went there to fish, and I was like, I'm just going to take a dip, And my dad was kind of, and again, I'm pretty, I know what's going on around me. They were just there. Next thing I know, they're about, I don't know, say 30 yards from me in the water. Just going through the walking towards me. I'm like, hey, how y'all doing or whatever. They'd acknowledge me. They were doing their thing. They had blonde hair, naked kids, pale. My dad's like, stay away from them. Let's go. So I got in. Why? They seem like I want some friends. That God, come on. And then again, if we saw these fast naked people, we would just tuck tail and run. Like a guy would go. And for one, nobody's watching this. If they are, they're probably thinking, man, you've done lost your mind. I'm telling my truth. I mean, I know that come on, there's got to be people that have seen these things. And I've seen this. Okay. Before this, back, I don't know, years ago, I had a friend and he would always be just finding every kind of UFO, Bigfoot, paranormal, ghost, everything. And he found some videos of people, I think they were in Brazil or something, and they found this dude or naked guy, bald, and they went running. And I thought then, I was like, wait a minute, is that what I was seeing? Maybe they're not even cryptids. Maybe they're just like people, a naked race of people living in the woods. I don't know. It's a mysterious world. But then again, you go on and think of something else. I'm not a cryptid hunter or a paranormal investigator. And I used to date a lot of girls, so I was busy. But it always kind of again, you move on in life. You move to LA, you're living in Hollywood, you've moved up in life, you've accomplished a few things, man, you revert back in your mind, you revert back to this hillbilly knowledge shit. You know how many times I've tried to change or run from my past? Like, you can't do it. It's who you are. You might think you're doing, but nah, everybody will know. So I was just like, hey, man, I'm just going to be me. Again, some people are like, oh, I've never seen it. Well, good for you. I've damn near seen everything. I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I've had Bigfoot activity. I saw a dog man in Arcadia, stupid looking fake thing. It might have been fake. I don't know. It was dumb. Big head. And it was a female dog man or werewolf, whatever. Stupid looking with a big grin, face. I mean, I'm not the only one that saw it either, man. There's a bunch of Chinese, or I lived in a Chinese neighborhood. When he was filming it, my dog's freaked out. That's how I knew it was. My dog's freaking out. I look up and that's there. It was a mass at first. And the next thing you know, it's standing there. I don't know. I tried to talk to the girl that was filming it, but she spoke like Mandarin or Cantonese or something. I don't know. She seemed stunned. And then the people around, matter of fact, people even closer, act like they didn't see it. I don't know. Again, mysterious world. I'm having coffee, black coffee, see. Strong disease. Hillbilly style, of course. So yeah, the kids, these twins, they call them the twins, because we always saw them together and they looked exactly the same, identical twins. Like they were made from the same mold. I mean, blonde hair. Again, it's probably some hillbillies living up, but why don't they put on some clothes? And these others that were always behind trees or ducking around or running. I mean, dashing. Again, that one time I saw the back of its head. I saw its, why is he bald? Pale, like white pale, like just pale. So they stick out. You see these, what? See? And you were always being warned by some old dude, yeah, y'all be careful down there because, hey, you never know. And they'd have names. Again, I forget. I'll try to figure out, call somebody in Tennessee I know or something. What were the names we called those? Because there was names. Crawlers or something like that. I don't know. So let's just say, speculation, abstract thought, all right? Let's just say they are naked hillbilly cryptids that live out in the woods there. And let's just say that maybe when they're young, they got hair, and then when they're older, it falls out. I don't know. Are they the same type of naked hillbilly cryptid? I don't know. Maybe I was just seeing who knows? You see a lot of strange stuff in the woods. You hear even crazier shit. That's another thing. Pardon me. I mean, babies crying out in the middle of the woods, a baby crying. We're like, get out of here. Let's go. Buzzing noise, buzz, and you can't hardly, like we took off. One time we're down in a holler and we heard this buzzing. We thought it was like bees or something. It was loud. And I felt like I was vibrating. I've heard my name called. I've heard just weird things. There's like some kind of cackling or something. Just time to go. Or is it too late? They know we're here. Of course, you're going to see mountain lions. Never run from a mountain lion, man. Get your arms waved out, back up. Because I was taught as a kid, if one shows itself, you're done flanked, man. There's two others. And rattlesnakes, like aggressive snakes, like big, venomous, hypodermic needle fang, hey. Am I the only one has seen these naked kids or the naked dudes? I mean, people talk about, those naked people down the dry creek, they're out there. I just thought there were crazy people running around naked. Maybe they are. Again, I don't know. I hadn't thought about this. Again, I was doing my podcast yesterday talking about us hunting the Bell Witch. And I remembered, we used to see these. Again, not by my grandmother's, her house, that creek. I never saw, besides that, somebody trying to be the Bell Witch or whoever it was. I did hear, again, babies crying and weird stuff. And ha, 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 laughing and try my name called. Is that my grandma? Go home. Hey, what were you guys wanting? Wait, what are you talking about? Well, you were yelling for. We ain't yelling for you. Who was then? I mean, maybe I'm dumb. Maybe more than that though. Like you'd be having a time of your life, like in the creek doing creek stuff. I see, I'm making it. Whatever you're doing. And then all of a sudden, it's just like something's different. Like, what is going on? Like your ear, just like, I don't know. I didn't see anything. You're looking around like, what is, I think it's time to leave. That would happen quite a bit. Maybe like twice a month, I would just be, what is going on here? It looked different. Like things just, and I wasn't too far. Granted, you can't be seen in the road. I'm in the creek. I mean, but I never saw near my house, near the creek. I never saw any. Besides that Bell Witch, who's probably somebody's sister dressed up scares. That's what I'm thinking. But thinking last night, like, are there? And like earlier, I tried to YouTube and Google some like I couldn't find anything. I didn't know what to put in. What are you going to put in? I put in naked alien. I put in aliens in the woods. I put in a naked cryptid hillbilly. I tried earlier right before I came on. I didn't see anything. I didn't even see the old footage that I saw back when my friend showed, like the Brazilian naked dudes or whatever they are. I tried. I'm trying. It's driving me crazy that I can't remember the names they called these people or things. And there was two names that they would call them. I think one of them was like a crawler or Tennessee crawler or a. I've lived a lot of life, believe me. And I'm older. I'm 51 years old. Come on. Too many beers ago, basically. But my curious hillbilly mind wants to know. What are they? Do you want to know? Now, I listen to a lot of podcasts, like paranormal, whatever it is. I'll lay in bed and just looking at it. And I don't even listen to most of it. I'm just listening to something to fall asleep. It's like sleeping with the radio on. I'll pick something that's like half hour, an hour long, so I know by the time I'm asleep, it'll just be gone. I don't have to turn anything off. It just... I was listening to something, like some podcast, Bigfoot podcast, I don't know. And he was interviewing a hunter. Now, hunters are going to run into stuff that you and I probably won't, because they're out there in the woods. They're hunting. That's what they do. Some of maybe never see anything. But this is the thing. I was listening to this dude. And what made him kind of, okay, now he didn't want to use his name. Never told my wife this. I've never been back in the woods, and that drives me crazy. I'm a hunter. See, I can't even do what I like to now. And he was like damn near crying. He said he was like in some kind of deer stand or something he had made. He was up in a tree, and he saw the. And when he started saying this, I thought, man, this is bullshit. I mean, I was laughing. Like, why would you call in a show and want that kind of attention, But here I am telling it. But anyway, he was repeating his story. He was in a tree stand. He saw what he claimed was a Bigfoot, like a big, hairy beast, a Sasquatch. He said he was still so scared. He had a gun. He was so scared. He realized it was so big. It's just going to piss him off. And you couldn't move. He was so scared. And he said out of the woods came this like naked, skinny, not that big compared to this Bigfoot. And he said this naked cryptid put a beating on this big Bigfoot. Like all of a sudden he was in hyperspeed, just like just whooped up the Bigfoot. Like the Bigfoot was like, get away, So while they were doing that, he escaped. And I just thought, man, that's just the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. But then again, I'm thinking about, wait a minute, maybe I don't know. Maybe he's full of shit. It sounded like some bullshit. But now I'm thinking, it's like, did he see one of those? And they're so skinny, the ones I saw, and pale, like they don't have any muscle tone or anything. And I guess he said this Bigfoot was like, his chest was 5 feet wide and he was 12 foot tall, like this huge, big thing. Then got whooped up by this naked hillbilly cryptid. Is that a thing? Are they some badasses out there? Like even Bigfoots are like, dude, stay away from them. They will whoop you up. Again, just I'm thinking out loud. I've got my podcast to do, so I got to think. I think about crazy shit. But it makes me wonder, because again, when I was listening to this I was like, oh man, he's full of shit, laying there trying to go to sleep. And I went, wait a minute, was that what did he see one of those fast moving, skinny, pale, bald headed crawlers or whatever they're called? Beat up a Bigfoot? I mean, that's crazy. That would change. Can you imagine like that your thing is hunting? I do it every day. That's what I do. It's my life. And to be so scared. that you saw something that scared you so much you don't hunt anymore, you don't go into the woods, and that was your thing. You're scared that people think you're crazy. You don't even tell your wife. You call into some kind of YouTube channel or whatever, and like, I ain't gonna use my real name. I ain't gonna tell you. They see, getting all teary eyed about it. That's why I was like, man, he seems upset, like this emotionally, but it's obvious bullshit. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute. I mean, again, mysterious world we live in. Could it? I don't know. Has anybody, I mean, nobody's watching this, but has anybody else seen something like that? Is there footage of such? Again, I've seen clips of certain things that kind of, because again, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, it's blob squatch. You don't see, there ain't no, that's it. It's like, dude, it's a pareidolia, whatever word. You go out in the woods, man, shit will start looking like something. Leaves and shadows, and hell, you look like you're standing in front of a whatever. I don't know. Are there still some naked twins down on Dry Creek? Little, about 5, 6 years old, naked with blonde hair in the creek. Again, we never saw them approaching. I don't know how, you're busy, you're doing something else, casting, when you look over and it's just like, there they are. Granted, they're not right beside you. I get about 30, 40 yards. I try to communicate. Hi, as a kid, hey, but didn't even acknowledge. And I saw these twins multiple times. Matter of fact, we'd be going, I hope we don't see the twins. My dad was saying, yeah. Because again, we would fish. Our shit was in the trunk always. Our old poles and tackle boxes and lures and this, that, and the other thing. And a lot of these creeks in the hollers and this and that, they're dry. Or you can't, when it rains, then hey, that's what you do. After a good rain, you go out. That's when the fish are biting. Come on. Hillbilly knowledge, right? So we'd go. We hit a spot. We wouldn't stay one spot. We would hit them all. We would go down, up, everywhere. My dad was from there too, so he knew, man, just some kind of back road. We take the back roads like to the lake. There was a lake, Center Hill Lake. I think it was still some lake. Like, where are we at? Like some dirt road. Like, how we fall off this mountain? Can we get back up this hill and this car? Barely, beautiful though. You get down, kind of creepy. You see, in the woods, and people know that you're like, yeah, we know this. But even the canopy, like even if you got it gets darker. For one, it's darker. The sun will be bright out, this and that. It'll be 100 degrees. In the woods, it's like 70 degrees, cool, kind of dark. So when it starts getting dark, it gets dark a lot quicker in the woods, right? You start, see, it's 3 or 4 o'clock, go. It's going to be dark here and fast. All of a sudden, it's on you. Darkness. And it isn't flat ground with grass. You're in the woods. And if you're in the hillbilly, you got to go, grab myself. You don't believe where we'd go. With our fishing poles and fishing. That's what we did. Even when my dad moved to Davenport, Iowa, he became a professor at this college. We would go down the Mississippi. We would just fit. And we need what do you fit? What do you do? Catching gars and carps and just using like 60-pound test line with these big hooks. And we'd use like this dough because there was we go to the bait shops that smelled horrible, these old bait shops. We're used to fishing in creeks, my dad would say. And the guy's like, well, now you got to get a bigger test line, and then you got to get these hooks and, this dough or catfish bait that was gross, and throw it out there and put a bell, just leave it. Because we're used to using like lures, and we didn't use worms, man. We had lures. We buy cool lures and, casting out and this, that, So yeah, we'd throw it out and just leave a bell, and when ding, ding, when you pull up the bell and you got a big gar snapping, what is this? A dinosaur? I didn't know what the hell it. And back then by law, they had signs you had to kill them because they would kill the game fish. The biggest fish I ever caught was in the Mississippi, a carp. It was huge. I don't even know how, this big. So we'd kill the gars, and I don't know what we'd give away the carp. Everyone's like, "Are you gonna eat that?" No, we ain't gonna. Y'all can have it. So we run into, again, I can't count the times that we saw these naked people in the woods, the kids, and then the taller. Never saw never saw any women though. Never saw any like uh women pale that were. It's always dudes or kids that were dudes. Blonde hair. Maybe when they're little, let's just say, like, again, let's just think outside the box. Let's just say that, like, when they're cryptids. Okay, let's just say, just for, we're dumb. Let's just say they're cryptids out there. When they're young, they have blonde hair. When they get older, it kind of falls out, and then they get, I don't know. Did we see the young ones, and then later on because the older ones were a little bit more, hiding and just kind of shady and giving off vibe, just hunched over, running fast through the trees, down. What the fuck was that? Let's go, Charles. Here we go. But also, it wasn't even that. It was like, okay, you just deal with it. Let's go. It's scary, but we weren't even. It's just something that was. I mean, again, I tried to communicate with these twins a couple times. They always looked the same. That one time, though, there was two of them, and next thing you know, there was like a bunch of these kids. My dad's like, "Let's go," because we only thought there was two. No, there was. It was like 8 of them. They all looked the same. How can you have 8 twins? I mean, I wasn't close enough to see if they were identical twins. You know what I mean? Like, they looked the same to me. As a kid, I just thought they were, okay, because you hear all kinds of stories from the old people. Like, you don't want to go to. And they were kind of, they didn't want to say too much either, because they didn't want people to think that because people already think they're crazy. They probably told the truth one time, and they were like, "Oh, he's crazy." So they make fun of you. So you just kind of like, "Well, hey, I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to tell y'all." I mean, the Cherokee were around there before we were. Did they see? And supposed to be before the Cherokee, the Melungeon or whoever they were. Did they, I ain't going certain places in the woods, man. I know better. For one, mountain lions and bears. You're all loud, and you smell. They know you're there. They have senses. I don't care how quiet you're trying to be, and dressed in camo, and you got some kind of stuff you bought at the hunting store that makes you smell like a female deer. Whatever it is, they know. I'm talking about real things like mountain lions and bears and who knows. One night, me and a dear friend of mine, Shorty Pimp, bless his heart, we were fishing down at the rock quarry. And again, can you even go to the rock quarry anymore? I used to jump off the rock quarry. Stupid. Everybody jumped off the rock. And it was, dude, we love to do it. Dude would climb up I did it once. And I said, no. But jump off, yeah. And you had to learn how to hit. If you hit, it hurt if you didn't. Then swim over to that one side, then go up the path and like wait in line to do it again. Do it all day long. Jump off the rock quarry. So we're down there near the Sligo Bridge, I think it was. You park at the end of the bridge, and you go down. And we were fishing at night. And we had so we heard something across the water. We're panning this big light. And man, we saw the biggest mountain lion or cougar. I don't know what it was. Big, like lapping water. Dip, 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 dip. And it did one of the coolest ninja moves I've ever seen. It kicked front and then was gone. It almost looked like it disappeared, but I saw what it did. It kicked forward, back, like in a flash. You saw like the leaves of the tree. It was gone. And Shorty Pinn's like, dude, we gotta go, man. Leave this shit here. Don't run. Just back up, wave your hand. We got the light, and we could hear. We got out. We luckily got out. Left it. Took the light. That's it. I think the next day we came back and. Do they even let people down by the rock quarry? If anybody's watching this, have you or did you back in the day jump off the rock quarry? I bet you did. Well, that was my favorite thing to do. Summer day, we hit the rock quarry. Everybody's going to the lake. No, we're going down the rock. And it'd be packed with people. There was no beach. It's just rock. And it just, cool. It was an old rock quarry that got flooded. And of course, hillbillies are going to turn it into a music park. That's it. That was our Disneyland. Dudes are diving off the rock, doing flip. Like these old hillbillies are talented, man. They could do some stuff. Miss those days, man. Miss those people. Do they even exist? Are there people that are like that? I don't see them around, man. Some of the people I was coming up with, people are different now, it seems. I don't know. Again, if you happen to be like a hillbilly from where I'm from, you're watching this, put in the comments, like, what were they called? Did you see them? Were they just the twins? I mean, were there twins down there? I don't know. I'm just speculating. Again, I haven't thought about hunting the bell. That brought up all kinds of old memories. And I might be thinking, maybe I'm doing this later on. I'll start thinking about, hey, I'll remember those names. I don't know. If I do, I'll do another podcast tomorrow or something. But yeah, it was a thing. We would see these naked people. So if you're brave enough to admit, leave a comment. I'm out of here. Again, I do this every day. I love y'all. Be blessed. See you tomorrow.